once you find your mat, just come to a comfortable seated cross-legged position. We're just going to settle into ourselves here. Let go of anything that happened before this moment and just embrace this moment as it is. Keeping a straight spine, relax your shoulders away from your ears. Gently close your eyes if you haven't already. Bring your hands in the form of a prayer in front of your heart. Today is Diwali, the festival of lights. It's the time of joy and light and warmth in our hearts. So while the days are turning colder, I invite you to embrace the warmth and light in your heart as you flow through today's practice. Take a deep breath in through your nose and a deep breath out through your mouth. Breathe in and breathe out. Gently open your eyes, and as you breathe in, lift your arms up. Bring your prayer above your heart and maybe drop your head back to look up towards your thumb. Breathe out, bring your hands wide and out all the way down next to your hips. We're going to do that one more time. Hands in the form of a prayer in front of your heart. Breathe in. Look up towards the ceiling. Breathe out. Hands wide and down next to your hips. Beautiful. We are gently going to bring our feet in front of us, about hips width distance. Maybe adjust your seat to find this wide open chest and your knees pointing straight up towards the ceiling. With the palms by your side, we're just going to move our knees from side to side. Just opening our hips one side at a time. And then we're going to let them fall all the way to the left and bring our hands to the back. So we invite a twist in this pose. So look up, look towards the back of your space. Bring your left shoulder away from your left ear. And maybe just lift your chin slightly towards the ceiling to deepen the twist. Slowly release from the twist, and we're going to go to the other side. So just drop your knees to the opposite side and bring your palms to the back and open your chest towards the back of your space. Breathe in and breathe out. Gently bring yourself back to the center and find the original position where you have hips width distance between your feet and your knees are facing up. From here, we're going to lift our hips up, drop our head back for reverse tabletop. Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly bring your hips down with control and just cross your legs and take a seat. Bring your feet together to touch now, opening your knees wide on your mat, and again, maybe assist your spine so it's straight. Lift your chest up, breathe in, and you may want to pulse your knees up and down just to find that wide opening in your inner thighs. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's find some stillness in our butterfly pose. Lift your chest up as you breathe in, and then just release your head over your feet Maybe you want to grab a hold of your feet. And the idea is not to touch your forehead all the way down to the toes. But if you feel like it's accessible to you this morning, you may do so. Just drop your head all the way down and take any modifications you would like. Maybe bring your feet closer to you or a little away from your center as you fold forward. Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly release, lift your chest up. Bring your palms to the outside of your knees and close your knees like a book. And then gently bring your legs to one side, and we're just going to find a tabletop position. Hands underneath your shoulders and knees underneath your hips. Gently tap your feet on the mat to release the backs of your legs. And once you find this neutral tabletop position, bring your gaze in between your palms, keeping your spine parallel to the mat. We're going to do some gentle cat-cow poses. So breathe in, drop your belly button down, lift your chest up, look up towards the ceiling. Breathe out, round your spine, chin in towards your chest. Breathe in, shine your heart forward, look up towards the ceiling. Breathe out, round your spine, chin in towards your chest. One more time, breathe in, look up towards the ceiling, find your cow pose. Breathe out, round your spine, cat pose. Come back to a neutral tabletop position, and we're just going to gently move our hips from side to side, opening up our hips, and then find stillness in tabletop. Now lift your right hand up as you breathe in and take a twist. Breathe out, thread your right arm underneath your left and bring your right shoulder down to your mat as you bring your right cheek also down to the mat. Release your left hand all the way forward towards the top of your mat. So your arms are somewhat in a right angle with each other. Maybe you want to keep your gaze underneath your left arm towards the back of your space. Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly walk your left hand next to your face. Push your left palm into the mat and then lift your right hand up again to find that twist. And then slowly bring your right hand down back to the mat. We're going to go to the other side. So once you find your center, bring your left hand up as you breathe in. Look towards the left side of your space. Gently bring your left hand underneath your right as you breathe out, bringing your left shoulder down to the mat and your left cheek down to the mat. Release your right hand all the way forward towards the top of the mat. So your arms are again in somewhat a right angle. Breathe in and breathe out. You may want to close your eyes to feel the sensation of your left shoulder blade opening up in the back, or just bring your gaze underneath your right arm towards the back of your space. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring your right palm next to your face. Assist yourself, lifting yourself up from the mat. Bring your left arm all the way up towards the ceiling and then back to the mat as you breathe out. Let's bring ourselves into a child's pose. Bring your big toes to touch. Widen your knees ever so slightly and then slowly bring your seat back to your heels. Hands all the way forward towards the top of your mat. And gently release your forehead down to the mat and close your eyes. Take a few breaths in child's pose and embrace the light and warmth that you have already created through the first few poses of the practice. And remember that child's pose is always available to you at any time in the practice if you feel like you want a moment to tap out and then come back in. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Gently walk your hands over to the left, bringing your right palm over your left palm to just bring that little stretch on the oblique muscles in the back. And then bring your hands back to the center and we're going to go over to the other side. So bring your right palm slightly to the right. Your left palm rests on top of your right. And maybe your gaze is underneath your left arm. To feel this stretch in the side body, in the back oblique muscles. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring your hands back to the center with your fingers pointing towards the top of your mat. Lift your head up to look between your thumbs and slowly come back to tabletop position, bringing your palms towards you and your knees underneath your hips. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, lift your hips up, finding your first downward facing dog. You could pedal out your feet, take any movements that feel comfortable to you in downward facing dog. Maybe drop your heel one at a time on the mat, move your hips from side to side. And then once you have done these gentle movements in downward dog, let's find some stillness. You could have a generous bend in your knees to lift your hips up to find that long spine and that length all the way from your fingertips to your sitting bone. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Roll forward to a plank pose. Bend your elbows and gently go all the way down to the mat. Untuck your toes, lift your chest up, breathe in, baby cobra pose. And then let's find child's pose again. You could leave your knees as they are, you don't have to spread them too wide. Just bring your seat back to your heels and let your forehead touch the mat. Lift your head up, breathe in. And come back to tabletop position. Tuck your toes, lift your knees and hips up, downward facing dog. As you breathe in, lift your right leg up, three-legged dog. Bend your knee and open up the hip. Let your right heel fall over your left hip. Bring your right leg back up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, bring it all the way forward between your palms and drop your right foot between your palms. Drop your left knee down to the mat, untuck your toes, and then bring your palms one at a time on top of your right knee. Push your right knee forward to bring that lift in your chest. And once you find that lift with your upper body, lift your hands up as we come into Anjaneyasana or crescent lunge pose. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring your hands wide and down to frame your right foot. Keeping your left palm down, lift your right hand up for a low lunge twist. You could stay here, or if you feel like this is accessible to you, bring your right hand behind you, bend your left knee, and grab a hold of your left foot with your right palm to twist towards the back of your space. Remember to keep your shoulders away from your ears as you bring your gaze to the back of your space. Breathe in and breathe out. Gently release your foot with control if you had it. Bring your hand up, forward and down to frame your right foot with both palms. Walk your palms towards your hips as you come on to the heel of your right foot and straighten your front leg, dropping your head over the right long leg. Maybe your right toes point straight up towards the ceiling. And you might want to invite a little bend in your right knee as you find this beautiful stretch on your right hip. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring your hands forward to frame your right foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee and step back, downward facing dog. Roll forward to a plank pose. Go all the way down to the mat with your elbows pointing straight backward. Untuck your toes, lift your chest up, breathe in, baby cobra pose. Tuck your toes, lift your knees and hips up, find downward facing dog. Let's just relax here a little bit. So drop your heels one at a time on the mat. And then come back to stillness. Breathe in, lift your left leg up, three-legged dog. Bend your knee, drop your left heel over your right hip. And then bring your left leg back up towards the ceiling. As you breathe out, bring your left knee towards your face and then drop your left foot in between your palms. Drop your right knee down. Untuck your toes for a low lunge. Again, bring your palms on top of your left knee. Push your left knee with the force of your palms as you lift your chest up. And once you find that lift with the chest, lift your hands up for Anjaneyasana or crescent lunge pose. Maybe you want to invite a gentle back bend. And don't let the control of your head go back. Just keep your head facing slightly up towards the ceiling without releasing it far back out. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring your hands wide and down to frame your left foot. With your right palm on the mat, lift your left hand up for a low lunge twist. Breathe in and breathe out. If you did so on the other side, bring your left hand behind you. Gently bend your right knee. Grab a hold of your right foot with your left palm and then slowly look towards the back of your space as you keep a hold of this foot. Breathe in and breathe out. Gently release your right foot with control if you had it and bring your left hand up, forward and down with both palms framing your front foot. Bring your palms towards your hips as you come on to the heel of your left foot. Straighten your front leg and then drop your head over your long left leg with your left toes pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Make sure that your hips are square and then maybe you have a gentle bend in the front knee and a gentle bend in your elbows as you find this forward fold in runner's lunge. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring your hands forward with your palms framing the front foot. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee and step back, downward facing dog. You could stay in downward facing dog, or if you want to do a vinyasa flow, come forward to a plank pose as you breathe in. Bend your elbows, go halfway or all the way down, chaturanga. Breathe in, lift your chest up, cobra pose or baby cobra pose. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Lift your hips all the way up. Take a deep breath in through your nose and a deep breath out through your mouth. We're going to take a slow walk to the top of the mat, one step at a time. And once you find your feet parallel to each other, about hips width distance, we're just going to release our head over our legs, release our hands down to the mat. No tension or pressure in any part of your body, just release in the forward fold. Uttanasana. Grab a hold of opposite elbows maybe and then rock gently from left to right. You could keep your eyes closed if you want to feel the sensations in your body. And then once you have your elbows in your palms, just gently release them so your fingers graze the mat or the earth. If you had your eyes closed, open them gently and then bring your palms to your shins as you come to a flat back. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, hands to the earth, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift, hands to shins. Breathe out, forward fold. As you breathe in, bring your hands wide and up. And bring your hands up towards the ceiling as they meet in prayer. Maybe look up towards your thumbs. And slowly bring your palms to your chest and then by your side, finding mountain pose or Tadasana. Acknowledge how you feel at this point in the practice. Maybe you feel the light and warmth that we sought at the beginning of the practice. Relax your shoulders and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let's flow through some sun salutations. Bring your hands up, breathe in, look up towards the ceiling, Urdhva Hastasana. Bring your hands wide and down as you breathe out, Uttanasana, forward fold. Bend your knees ever so slightly. Breathe in. Bring your right foot back, low lunge. Breathe out. Left foot meets the right, downward facing dog. Roll forward to a plank pose. Breathe in. Go all the way down to the mat. Elbows pointing straight backward. Breathe out. Untuck your toes. Lift your chest up. Shoulders away from your ears. Baby cobra pose. Tuck your toes, lift your knees and hips up, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up as you inhale, three-legged dog. Bring it all the way forward, drop your foot between your palms, breathe out. Lift your chest up, breathe in. Push yourself from the back and bring your left foot to meet the right as you fold forward. Breathe out. Bring your hands all the way up. As your palms meet in the form of a prayer above your head, breathe in. Bring the prayer to your heart and hands by your side. Breathe out. Mountain pose or Tadasana. Gently bring your hands up, breathe in. Look up towards the ceiling, Urdhva Hastasana. Hands widen down. Forward fold, Uttanasana, breathe out. Gently bend your knees. Bring your left foot back, low lunge, breathe in. And your right foot meets the left, breathe out. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Roll forward to a plank pose. Breathe in. Bend your elbows, go all the way down with control. Breathe out. Lift your chest up as you breathe in. Baby cobra pose. Tuck your toes, lift your knees and hips up. Downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up, breathe in. Three-legged dog. Bring it all the way forward and drop your foot between your palms. Breathe out. Lift your chest up, breathe in. Push off from your right foot, bring your right foot to meet the left and fold over your legs. Breathe in. Lift your hands up, high prayer. And breathe out, hands to your heart. And hands by your side, mountain pose or Tadasana. Relax your shoulders. Keep your chin away from your chest as you shine your heart forward towards the front of your space. And take a few breaths in mountain pose. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Bring your hands up, breathe in, high prayer, gentle back bend. Breathe out, fold over your legs, Uttanasana, forward fold. Bend your knees. Step your right foot back as you breathe in. Now drop your right foot down flat on the mat with your right toes pointing towards the long edge of the mat on the right side. And gently circle your arms up and around to find warrior two. So your left knee is directly above your left heel, and your hands are stretched out, shoulders away from your ears, and your gaze is to a point just ahead of your left fingertips. Breathe in, straighten your front leg, lift your arms up, flying warrior. Breathe out, bend your front knee, open up your arms, warrior two. Breathe in, lift your hands up, flying warrior, straighten your front leg. Breathe out, sink into your warrior two, bend your front knee. Flip your front palm, breathe in and tip back for peaceful warrior. Bring your left hand all the way towards the back of your space. As you find this beautiful long side stretch going from your left hip all the way to your left fingertips towards the back. Breathe in and breathe out. Gently come back to warrior two. Straighten your front leg and we're going to bring our torso all the way forward with our hands stretched out and bring your left palm down on your left shin and your right hand up towards the ceiling for triangle pose. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Slowly bring your right hand down as you bend your left knee and bring both palms to frame your front foot as you come onto the ball of your back foot and step back, downward facing dog. We're just going to gently drop our knees, bring our big toes to touch and set our seat back on our heels for child's pose. Just take a moment to acknowledge the poses that have been invited into the body today. The flow of the breath with the movement. And remember to be kind and gentle with yourself throughout the practice. Lift your head up and then come on to tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your knees and hips up, finding downward facing dog. Breathe in. Lift your left leg up towards the ceiling. Three-legged dog. Bring it all the way forward. Drop your foot in between your palms. And then drop your back knee down and tuck your toes. And lift your left hand up towards the ceiling for a low lunge twist. Bring your left palm behind you. So you wrap your left arm around to open up your chest towards the ceiling. Bring your left hand up, forward and down, and let your palms come to the inside of your left foot. So both your palms are on the inside of your left foot. This is the lizard lunge pose. You may want to stay here, or if you want to go a little deeper, maybe you bring both your forearms down to the mat and your chest is still lifted. And you're going to feel a deep opening in your inner thighs. Take whatever variation feels comfortable for you today. Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly bring your palms back on the mat, lifting your chest up. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and step back, downward facing dog. Inhale and lift your right leg towards the back of your space, three-legged dog. Bring your right knee towards you and drop your right foot down on the mat. Bring your left foot back flat on the mat, so your left toes are pointing towards the left long edge of your mat. Circle your arms out and come up to warrior two. You could have a deep bend in your front knee, or if you feel like that's too much, just release the bend a little bit and find a gentle bend, not too far out. Wherever you are, keep your arms stretched out and your gaze to a point in front, just above your right fingertips. Breathe in, lift your arms up, straighten your front leg, flying warrior. Breathe out, rebend your front knee, open up your arms, warrior two. Breathe in, lift your hands up, straighten your front leg, flying warrior. Breathe out, open up your arms, warrior two. Flip your front palm and tip back for peaceful warrior. Bring your left palm on top of your left leg in the back and release your right arm all the way so your right fingertips are pointing straight back of your space. Find this beautiful stretch from your right hip all the way to your right fingertips. Breathe in and breathe out. Come back to warrior two. Straighten your front leg and bring your torso all the way forward and release your front palm to your shin, ankle or foot, and then release your top arm towards the ceiling for triangle pose. Breathe in and breathe out. Gently bring your top arm down, circling it down, coming onto the ball of your back foot for a low lunge. Frame your foot with both palms and then step back, downward facing dog. Drop your knees down once again. Untuck your toes, bring your big toes to touch. Set your seat on your heels and find child's pose. Slow down your breath and let your body arrive in these poses as you feel the sensations of your muscles opening up and growing stronger. Lift your head up, breathe in. Come on to tabletop position. Tuck your toes, lift your knees and hips up. Downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up as you inhale, three-legged dog. Bring it all the way forward, low lunge. And then drop your back knee down, untuck your toes. And lift your right hand up towards the ceiling. Turn your right palm so it faces the back, and then gently bring your right hand to open up your chest to the ceiling. You may feel a little bit of stretch on your shoulder, right shoulder, as you do this twist. Gently release yourself from this twist, bringing your right hand up, forward and down. And bring your right palm to the inside of your right foot. And maybe you want to stay here in your lizard lunge. Or if you want to go a little deeper, I invite you to bring your forearms down to the mat as your gaze falls between your forearms and your fingers are stretched out. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring your palms back on the mat. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee and step back. Downward facing dog. Let's take a vinyasa if you feel comfortable doing so. Otherwise, stay in downward facing dog. If you're taking a vinyasa, roll forward to a plank pose as you breathe in. Go all the way down to the mat as you breathe out. Lift your chest up, baby cobra pose. Breathe in. Lift your hips up. Downward facing dog. Breathe out. We're going to take a slow walk to the top of the mat. Fold over our legs. Breathe in. Lift your arms up. High prayer. Breathe out. Hands by your side. Mountain pose or Tadasana. You could keep facing the front. I'm just going to turn around to face you so I can show you the poses from here. Lift your hands up, breathe in, and sink into chair pose. So you're just going to drop your hips back towards your heels. Keep your chest lifted. And then slowly release from chair pose. Straighten your legs, breathe in. Bring your hands widen out. Breathe out. Mountain pose Tadasana. We're going to do tree pose. So for tree pose, there are a few variations that you could take. So bring your right foot out towards the right and then grab a hold of your right foot. You could bring it all the way to the inside of your left leg. Or if that feels too much for you today, you could bring it to your shin or just keep it down with your heel resting on the ankle and lift your hands up for tree pose. Try to keep your knee opening up towards the right and your hips are square, so try not to sink into your left hip too much, keeping it neutral and in the center. Slowly release your hands down and your foot down with control. Let's go over to the other side. So bring your left foot out towards the left, so your feet are kind of in a 90-degree angle. Assist your left foot with your left palm and bring your left foot to the inside of your right leg. Lifting your hands up to find tree pose. Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly release your left foot with control. Bring your hands down next to your body to find Tadasana or mountain pose. Let's do another chair. Bring your hands up, sink your seat back. Your hips go towards your heels as your chest is lifted, and the idea here is to keep your shoulders away from your ears and your gaze to a point in front of you. Lift yourself up, straighten your legs, breathe in. Hands widen out by your side, mountain pose, Tadasana. Bring your hands to your hips and then gently pedal your feet, bending one knee at a time. Just release your legs. And then let's find a comfortable seat, cross-legged position. And once you find that, scoot yourself back a little bit so you have space in the front of your mat as you release your legs all the way forward. We're going to find staff pose, but before doing that, let's just release the back of our legs for all the hard work that it has done so far. Just release the muscles and then find some stillness with your toes pointing straight up towards the ceiling and your palms next to your hips to find staff pose or stick pose, Dandasana. Keep a straight spine as much as possible. Breathe in and breathe out. Lift your hands up, breathe in, and then bring your hands to meet your toes. And if you feel like that's too much for you, just bring your hands, palms on your shins, and gently drop your head over your long legs. If you feel like you can grab a hold of your feet, you may do so. Just find this beautiful Paschimottanasana and embrace your breath whenever any pose feels uncomfortable or too much. Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly release your feet and then bring your hands back on your lap. And we're going to bend our right leg and give it a big hug. Drop your right knee to the right and bring your right foot to the inside of your left foot. And just adjust your seat so your torso is facing your long leg. Lift your hands up, breathe in, and just fold over your long leg. Maybe grabbing a hold of your foot or your shin. You might also want to have a slight bend in your knee. Wherever you are, just be kind and gentle to yourself. Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly release from the pose. Bring your head up. Assist your right knee in towards your body. And then release your right leg to meet the left. Adjust your seat so it finds the center of the mat. And bend your left knee. Give your left leg a big hug. And then drop your left knee to the left. Bringing your left foot to the inside of your right thigh. Turn yourself to face the long leg. Keeping a straight spine, lift your hands up and fold over your right long leg. Janushirshasana. Maybe your forehead touches the knee. Maybe your palms grab hold of your foot. Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly release your leg. Bring your hands back. And then assist your left knee in towards your body and gently release it long so it meets the right. Adjust your seat so it finds the center. Scoot forward ever so slightly, bringing your seat a little bit to the front of the mat. And slowly roll onto your backs, one vertebrae at a time, with your knees looking up towards the ceiling. Gently bring your hips up to find bridge pose. Keep your chin away from your chest as you lift your hips. And then maybe bring your shoulder blades together as you interlace your fingers beneath your hips. Breathe in and breathe out. Gently bring your hips back down to the mat. And we're just going to windshield wiper our knees from left to right. Drop them over to the left and right. And then once they fall over to the left, let them stay there. Bring your right hand out to the right and your gaze falls over your right fingertips for a supine twist. Breathe in and breathe out. Gently bring your knees to the center and let them just fall over to the opposite side. And release your left hand out to the left, bringing your gaze just over your left fingertips for a supine twist. Breathe in and breathe out. Gently bring your knees to the center. Let them hover a little bit and then bring your hands to hug your knees. Give yourself a big hug and slowly release your feet down on the mat and let your legs come out long and your hands by your side. Final resting pose or Shavasana. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Relax the top of your head. Relax your forehead, your cheeks, mouth, nose. Relax your chin, your ears. Unclench your jaw. Relax your eyelids, your neck, your shoulders. Relax your forearms, triceps, elbows, wrists, palms, fingers and fingertips. Relax your chest, your stomach, waist. Relax your hips, thighs, hamstrings. Relax your knees, calves, shins. Relax your ankles, heels, soles of your feet, tops of your feet, toes and tips of your toes. Let your entire body relax from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Let your front body melt into your back body and let your back body melt into the earth. Start wiggling your fingers and toes gently, waking up your body and bringing some awareness back. Take a deep morning stretch. Stretch your hands behind you and your legs out to the front. And bring your feet one at a time on top of the mat with your knees pointing straight up. Gently roll over to one side, finding a fetal position. Honor the light and warmth that you have created through the flow of the practice today. Press your left palm into the earth or the mat. Gently come up to a seated cross-legged position, still with your eyes closed. Bring a prayer in front of your heart. Bow your chin towards your chest. Fill your heart with gratitude for everything there is and everything that is to come. Thank yourself for showing up on the mat this morning, and I thank you for letting me guide you through this practice. Namaste.